So, I mean, I see a lot of people with God complex and a lot of people who are, they say they're very advanced. But here's the thing, though. We got a global situation called CV19, okay? And did you know you created it either way? You know what I'm saying? You created it either way you put it. Because you're playing this game by yourself, which means that whatever is happening out here, your fate is determined by how you react to it. Because you created it. So who are you a victim to? You know what I'm saying? Now, the same way when you go to sleep, okay, and you try to lucid dream, or you try to, let's say, astral project, or even when you're trying to come out of body, isn't your goal to try to put the body to sleep? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the body's monitoring you. You know what I'm saying? Because before these things happen, certain things happen in the sense where you'll start to feel an itch in your nose. You know what I'm saying? An uncontrollable urge to just move. And these things happen because it's the body testing to see if you're actually asleep. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at, for example, saying, oh, well, how if I created it and, the government's putting all this out, I mean, it's basically you are the government. You see, whenever you're trying to trick the body, you see, we always talk about the body as a separate entity. When we say we're trying to burn fat, we eat a certain way to get the body to burn fat, and then we say we're going to work out a certain way. I'm going to work out this way to shock the muscle, or trick the muscle into building more. You know what I'm saying? Like, we always talk about the body as a separate entity. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do breathing exercises to produce certain elixirs to give me a certain experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is correlated to you doing something outside of yourself, outside of, the perspective of the body. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to train. When you go to the gym, you train your body in the gym. You train yourself at work. They train you at work. You know what I'm saying? Your mentality is trained, from the moment you're birthed into this existence. So think about this, though. Everything that's happening is still monitored by your body. You know what I'm saying? Either way you put it. Because your body is part of this system. So whatever you're perceiving out here is you pushed out. So when you see the government, okay, and this is the thing, though. Certain things may trigger certain individuals more than other individuals, but this just comes to a sense of, perception and even a level of awareness, okay? So if you look at the government and they look like they're trying to control the masses a certain way by inflicting fear, anxiety, stress, and all this bullshit, it's basically you trying to maintain control of your existence here. You know what I'm saying? You're afraid to die. You, meaning the body, your ego. See, here's the thing. If you have, we're in a body, okay? We're in one entire body. You could hear certain pandemics or plagues, plaguing certain isolated locations. Let's say if it's plaguing a country other than the United States. You know what I'm saying? You'd be calm and collected because you'd say to yourself, well, it's not affecting me. But it ain't no different than you having a inflammatory disease somewhere in your body, or even a ailment somewhere in your body, like your liver's fucked up or something, or your kidneys, or something's messed up. You know what I'm saying? And then you just say, oh, well, I feel fine. You go to the doctor, get tests and whatnot, and things are out of balance. But then you're like, it's not affecting me now. So you continue on with the way you're going. Eventually, the whole body is going to fall apart. So you have twin flames, soulmates, and they could be at the other side of the world. You know what I'm saying? Now, through YouTube, I've made videos and I've connected with people who are on the other side of the globe. You know what I'm saying? And I've watched videos from certain people who are on different, areas that I'm at, and it's helped me out tremendously. You know what I'm saying? And this is why it's important. Like, here's the thing, though. You're always trained from birth to think you depend on things outside of you. You shouldn't depend on anything outside of you. And I'm talking about from the smallest level possible. I'm talking about if you do get sick for some strange reason, okay? You see, the best thing to do would be to just fast and let the body use the energy to heal, but also you assist the body in healing by doing energy work into that respective area that you're fatigued or diseased in, okay? This is why I made the video a little while ago, and it's called How I Won the War. I got sick. What I did was I fasted, but I also, with the word, all right, said that this is how this is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear in ancient times where you'll hear that certain war leaders won the war because they were told by an angel in a dream how it was going to turn out, and they based certain decisions respectively to actually win the war. You know what I'm saying? Certain storms that were coming, certain things that were coming as far as like plagues or whatnot. You see, these people or the war general was told in a dream how the outcome was going to be. So they made certain decisions that aided them in winning that war. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is a mental war. You know what I'm saying? Because this war is coming down to you getting your respiration blocked or because if you think about it, respiratory, you see the word spirit in there, right? Now, there's certain things you consume that are more spiritual food to other things that are more grounding food. So, for example, when you eat fruits and high vibrational foods, you notice how, on a physical level, on an athletic level, you have better cardio when you eat these things. But when you eat meats and grounding foods, you actually feel stronger. You know what I'm saying? But your cardio is compromised a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So it's more or less spirit food, the way you're consuming, but also when you are breathing properly, you are consuming spiritual food also. Now, the crazy thing here is that if we are all in one body and you're nothing but a blood cell here, okay, what happens when you deprive a cell of oxygen? It mutates, it becomes cancerous, right? And they start to multiply that way. So here's the thing though. This is how powerful you are. However you perceive any situation outside of you to be is how it is, including pandemics, CV19, whatever it may be. However you perceive it, that's how it is. I perceive it as an upgrade. You know what I'm saying? Now, the controllers or the government is going to tell you that it's actually a bad thing, yet it's actually fucking up more or less the elderly people or the people who have already underlying health conditions. Okay, but everybody's panicking, flipping out, staying away from each other and whatnot, policing each other in public. And when you think about it, you're blocking your respiration. Okay, that's the spirit attack already. But you blocking that, you're also becoming a cancerous cell in this body. You see, how you're a service to humanity is realizing that you are nothing but the blood cells here, but also realizing that how you perceive your reality is how your gut microbiome is in check. If there's an imbalance of the gut microbiome, people suffer from depression like that. You know what I'm saying? And you're not vibrating high. You're not vibrant. You're not vibrationally sound. That's why people say, oh, that person's not sound. You know what I'm saying? When they're not healthy. But it's not just sound where they think like, oh, the person is not mentally sound, but it's also physically sound. You are emitting a frequency. With all the organs, they all have to be in harmony. So I'll go back to the example I did before. If one of your organs are off, then you're not vibrationally sound. You know what I'm saying? There's a distorted frequency. When all your organs are in harmony, because they're organs emit a frequency. Like when you play organs in a musical band, you know what I'm saying? All the organs have to be tuned properly. Okay? And then you have a beautiful sound that comes out of it. So the same way, if there was, let's say, a plague in a country and it has nothing to do with you, the way you'd be a service to humanity is actually working with coordinates. There's chakra systems in the whole globe. You know what I'm saying? So if you can do, I didn't research this, but if you do coordinate checks and you see what chakra is closest to the country that is suffering that plague or pandemic, then you would basically centralize that to the portion of your body. So let's say the country that's compromised is the solar plexus chakra. Then you would do work on your solar plexus chakra and say, this is the country, and you're sending energy like that, working it through your instrument, which is your body, making all your organs emit that frequency to send that energy out. You know what I'm saying? And also, send the energy. But you know how they say it's a small world after all? Yeah, I mean, the world looks big when you look at the vast scenery, but when you close your eyes, you take everything in. You know what I'm saying? So when you know of something like that, then you can do something that's a service to others. You'll be a service to others when you keep your gut microbiome in check, because the better you're vibrating, the more others will vibrate to your frequency. The more people will actually be attracted to that frequency. You know what I'm saying? But then there's also people who are attracted to negative frequency. So are you an inflammatory cell, or are you one of the cells that are going to help this body move to that next level? Because if you think about it, you'll see these spiritual channels talking about, oh, Earth is going into 5D. And this is why they put out this, pandemic of CV19. You know, there's a lot of hidden meaning and symbolism behind that. And the reason is to keep you in a low vibrational state by putting you in fear and anxiety. So that makes you vibrate lower so that you cannot assist this planet into getting into that next level. You are the planet getting into 5D. That's you. Everything that's happening outside of you is you. But are you going to pay attention to what's favoring you, or are you going to pay attention to what's disempowering you? You know what I'm saying? Now, if this is the realm of infinite possibilities, then what are you afraid of? You know what I'm saying? They'll put you in fear because the biggest unknown is death. So people are afraid of dying. They're afraid of catching a virus. You know what I'm saying? When in actuality, everything that's happening is actually an upgrade. Okay? It's an upgrade. And it sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, when you close your eyes, you're here by yourself. This game is you. You created CV19. You created it. Your body is the government, and what you see as far as the government, that's and it's triggering you. It's because you don't have your body in check. You don't have the gut microbiome in check. You know what I'm saying? But we are all one in this aspect, that we are all in this one body, and we can assist this body into getting to that next level. And this is how you do it, is basically knowing that you are here by yourself. You created CV19. The pandemic or the negativity that you see outside of you is basically the system, which is your body trying to strive and survive. If you get sick, if you have a cut, you don't do nothing. The body heals by itself. The body heals from any diseases if you've made proper choices and decisions, because you can also be influenced by the government, which is still you, to ingest drugs. You know what I'm saying? That's why whenever you talk about vegan diets or carnivore diets, it basically, to me, is pick your drug of choice. You know what I'm saying? What drug am I polarized to? You hear what I'm saying? So, and deficiencies, by the way, if you're deficient in anything, you don't have deficiencies. You just don't have the ability to house things in your body because you don't have the suitable conditions or environment to house whatever bacteria is responsible for breaking down whatever nutrients you're deficient in. It's like if I have a compost bin and I put organic matter in there, I am depending on the bacteria and the bacteria, the earthworms, and the insects that are in that compost bin to eat that decaying matter that's decaying, okay, and actually process it and poop it out, which is basically the nutrients for the body. So if I'm holding a piece of fruit and I'm saying this fruit is good for, let's say, my eyes, it ain't good for my eyes until it's in my stomach, fully processed and sent to that respective, organ that it's good for. You know what I'm saying? But if the body couldn't process it for whatever reasons it may be, whatever underlying health conditions you have, then it didn't sit well with you. You didn't fully process it, or whatever it may be, then it wasn't good for anything. It's just like you could consume information. If you're not of frequency or awareness, whatever you're consuming could be the most groundbreaking information, and it ain't gonna mean shit because you couldn't process it. You don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because it's happened to me. I've heard shit where I heard it the first time, I didn't know what the fuck they were saying, and then all of a sudden I heard it later on and I understand what they're saying now. So this whole thing that's coming down with CV19 and whatnot, we're in one body. You know what I'm saying? If you're blocking your respiration, okay, it's no different than a baby having a diaper. And if you leave that shit in their diaper too long, they're going to get diaper rash because that's acidic, right? So, when you hear guys like Dr. Robert Morse talk about there's two sides of chemistry, there's acids and alkaline, okay? But you have to be the CEO and know what should be coming into your body based on what you've done. So knowing where you're going is basically knowing where you've been. In your now moment, you determine that by being present. See, this is the reason why even being lucid in this dreamlike state is important, because a lot of people can't even remember what the fuck they've ate the same day they ate. You know what I'm saying? What did you eat today? Oh, and then they can't remember. They have to think about it. Imagine. They can't remember what they ate that day. What makes you think they're going to remember what they ate 2 days ago or 3 days ago? You know what I'm saying? So you don't know what you're supposed to be consuming at that time. You know what I'm saying? Should you even be fasting? Because maybe you ate something that takes a little bit longer for the body to process, because it takes more from the body to break apart those complex molecules. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to your emotions. Your body's always talking to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like your body is against you. Your body is just striving to survive, but it wants to make sure that it is first in line for you to be aware of it first. But yet, we're not even aware of it. So what are we aware of? If we're not aware of what we really are, and we're not even aware of the body, then that's a problem. That means that what are we aware of? We're just walking zombies. We're just, a gift that we have to be the beings that we are here. Okay? If you look at animals or things outside of you, which is another mystery because you never know. Those, even insects might perceive this reality a certain way, but they may be even more advanced than human beings. And we think we're more advanced because we're talking a language or we're doing things that they can't. You know what I'm saying? When in actuality, they probably don't need to do all that shit. They probably got all the shit intact the way they're supposed to, and they're more advanced than us. So you never know. You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, when you think about the abilities that you have, okay, it's a gift and it is something that's going to waste if it is not used. And then what happens when you come to a realization that you could have done so much more? You know what I'm saying? And it comes down to you just not being able to use the tools that you had because you were just too busy doing other things that you were paying attention to, investing your time in, that you got no return on. So right now, it is important to know that whatever, you see, the war is not going to be a physical war. And I'm hearing these big YouTubers talking about these, what's to come in 2021 and, just being the chosen one and whatnot. And what the fuck is that, bro? Like, in actuality, all you're doing is basically creating the reality for the person who is not even fully conscious or aware. It's a mind virus. The chosen one? Well, I had an egg sac of 300, of 300 praying mantises that were born in my garden. So who were the chosen ones? I only chose a selected few that I'm taking care of right now. The other ones may have all died in the winter, but they came here and had a short life. How do we know that they were just supposed to experience that short amount of life and then just evolve into the next level? Like maybe they just had to come in here for a day and do that, and that's it. Me, I took the ones to basically nurture them. We would think, oh, these are the chosen ones because they have a warm, terrain. They're being fed by me. You know what I'm saying? Their terrain is cleaned constantly by me. You know what I'm saying? So what? Those are the chosen ones, right? But they're just sitting there kind of waiting. You get what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, my plans is just to basically let them loose out in the yard. So it's a different type of experience. But then again, when we look at it as far as time is an illusion. Time doesn't really exist, right? So it's crazy to just think about these little things. And as far as to what perception you could look at things from, all I could tell you is to choose the path that empowers you. And work through these things. Don't let things work you. You work through these things and you'll see how much more strength you gain. Because I'll tell you right now, I had to deal with a lot of fears in my life. A lot of fears. A lot of bullshit. A lot of insecurities. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of what I've gone through in my life has led me up to this point where I can only be as grateful as possible if I just sit down and really contemplate on how my life has gone. You know what I'm saying? There's things that I have opportunity through the problems and the trials and tribulations is where I can say these are where my opportunities are at. What if I was, I was at one point where I was just financially straight. I had everything I want as far as monetary, gains go. You know what I'm saying? But it's how I was making it too. How was I making that money? You know what I'm saying? What return in actuality was I getting? Because I was getting the illusion of that currency. But there's a different, I'll make another video on that. That's way too long because I want to get into basically certain things that I've gone through in my life to get me to this point where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? But basically to cut this video off, I just want to recap basically going into, the disease is basically starting off from a mind virus to begin with. You know what I'm saying? It even starts from family members. Family members could tell you cancer runs in the family and you get injected that mind virus from a young kid. And then all of a sudden you grow up with that belief. And then all of a sudden you may manifest that quicker than if you didn't even know about it. You get what I'm saying? So it's coming down to just looking forward to upgrading yourself and think about what is an upgrade to you. Because what an upgrade to me may not mean a goddamn thing to you. So this is why I say, like, just work on yourself. Work on you, on how you feel and what's resonating with you. What makes you feel better? What is keeping you mentally sound, physically sound? You get what I'm saying? So if I go to the gym, I feel good mentally, physically, and spiritually. I'm working my respiration a certain way. You get what I'm saying? Now, I'm not putting the masks on to keep my chest poked out, coming from an ego space saying, no, I'm not wearing it because I'm trying to be a Satan or an adversary to this, reality that we're inhabiting here. You know what I'm saying? But it's just coming down to what mental state are you at when you do it. My mentality is toward the fact that I'm nothing but a blood cell in this body, and I'm aiding on a macro level the evolution of this body. Okay? And then it's going to only better everybody around me as well. Because the way I'm perceiving my reality is changing, because I'm changing how I am actually managing the bacteria in my stomach. And it's very important to realize that your emotions, your imbalances and all that, they say all health starts in the gut for that reason. Do you have an earth-like environment? That's being in tune with nature. When you're in tune with nature, is you having your gut in tune with earth? Or does your stomach look like Mars? What can you live on Mars? You know what I'm saying? So you're inviting the aliens that are creating that Mars-like environment. They are the ones that are invading the planet. And then from the inside out, they're actually taking over the planet in there. And then you're going to perceive your reality in that way. Okay? Be in tune with nature is not just the woo-woo, goo-goo gaga talk where you're starting to, oh, I'm going to sun gaze all day and drink my pee-pee and just, put my feet in the ground. It's much more to that. You know what I'm saying? It's literally opening your perception to understand what it is that you're even processing. The same way, if you're listening to information that you can't process, you can go out into nature and try to process those light codes that basically are processed on your skin. No different than how a tree works, where the tree takes in that sunlight, brings those sugars down to that mycelium network underneath. That mycelium network feeds that tree from the root systems, and it's also creating that network amongst all the other trees in the forest as well. It's a symbiotic relationship. So you are what you eat to that reason, because if you're eating garbage, foods that don't belong in there, your body's made of water. So when you sweat, that water, that oil is what's coming out of your skin. That saturated fat that from like these acidic foods that you're eating. So when you put baby oil or sun tanning oils burn your skin, right? Or they'll tan your skin. But when you're eating those type of oils, they're inflammatory oils. They're acids coming out of your skin because you sweat when you go in the sun. So it's not the sun that's causing the cancer. It's that oil that's burning on the top of your skin that's causing that skin cancer. Again, inflammatory acids. So you got to know, being the CEO is you being neutral. Acid, alkaline, neutron. Positive, negative, neutron. Protons, neutrons, electrons. You sit in that courtroom. You sit in this courtroom. Unbiased. Okay? Not acids are better or alkaline is better. Everything has its place, because the bad guys need to be there too in order for your systems to survive. But the reasons that you're aiding this body in the surviving is not to keep the matrix alive, is to actually evolve beyond what we think we are actually perceiving out here as how we look at it, which is basically us pushed out. It's all within you anyway. I hope that made sense. So the judge listens to both sides unbiasedly. Okay? And then he decides after where he's going to put his ruling. Case closed. Case closed. Well, don't we container things here? Ideas? Trapping ideas in a container? So you decide whether something needs a little more acids or a little more alkaline. Okay? Because when you work out, you produce lactic acid in the muscles. When you work out, you're producing acids in your body. Right? So what are you doing? You're breaking muscle tissue down, but it only makes it stronger. So everything has its place. You know what I'm saying? But you decide. Sometimes you may be too high on something. You may need to add a little more acids on it. You get what I'm saying? So balance is key in actuality. But look at this body as you. This body is you. Everything out here is you pushed out. But the video is going to cut off. But like, share, subscribe. We'll talk soon.